Help! I've fallen, and I can't get revenge. On those stairs. Is this bit working? Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. Do I even need to introduce this? This seems like it's the easiest target in the world. Every opinionated channel has come and went professing the gospel that this movie is stupid doo-doo garbage. It's cynical, has some interesting depictions of certain groups,
Why don't you get a haircut with your bitch ass?
and is way too horny than a movie about Hasbro robots should be.
Finish that for me.
And trust me, I'm going to take a few swings at the whole punching bag too for that easy quality content. But I also want to be somewhat fair, and if there is anything of merit to be said about this movie, then you know I'll let you know. Transformers 1 for me was peak fiction.
Are you playing those video games again?
Big robots, action, Call of Duty.
Enemy AC-130, above.
So when it was announced that there was going to be another movie, it instantly was at the top of my must-watch list. Burger King drinks had the Fallen slapped right on them, and I was guzzling. I was ready for Transformers 2, and then it came out. I had the strangest feeling leaving the theater. I just watched a movie, and it wasn't as good as I was hoping it would be. What could this feeling be? Disappointment? This was the first time he had ever been failed by a franchise.
Mojo, no dominating Frankie.
You see, this movie kind of has a unique place in my heart, as it was the first time I was excited and let down by a sequel. Sure, today as an adult man, I'm used to every franchise I once enjoyed fumbling right into irrelevancy, ruining what I once enjoyed about them in the first place. But man, it's true what they say, you never forget your first. Both were still Transformer movies, both had the same cast, yet the reception was quite different. What could it possibly be? It was the script. The script was bad.
The fallen shall rise again.
That doesn't sound good.
Oh, shiver my timbers! Shut up, man!
In fact, it's kind of a fun fact regarding Transformers 2, how it was written during the 2007 writer's strike. Michael Bay in 2011 came clean about how he felt Transformers 2 sucked because of that strike. He said they only had 3 weeks to come up with the story, which to many, just everyone kind of shrugged and was like, wow, that explains it. This was something everyone can kind of just wipe their hands clean of because it was an extraordinary event. But here's the thing, and come a little closer. I don't think the strike really contributed that much to this film sucking. Or at least as people think. Look, I get it. The strike had tremendous ripples in Hollywood. Entire productions were shut down, Lost was ruined, many television studios were on hold. It made waves. But it also only lasted 100 days. That's still a long time for television. It can derail some projects on a time schedule, but I don't think it derailed this one. Or at least to the extent that some may think. Yes, it's true production of Revenge of the Fallen began without a finished script, but this isn't the most unheard of thing in filmmaking.
For 2 or 3 hours trying to figure out what we're going to shoot that day. There was no script. You know, the crew would be in there tapping their foot waiting for us, and we'd be in there, you know, playing each other's parts and improvising. You know, John would be calling writer friends of his.
And it's not like they didn't have anything to go off of as well. Revenge of the Fallen was written by Aaron Kruger, Roberto Orci, and Alex Kurtzman. All three knew that the strike was coming up, so they had to come up with a brief days before the strike happened. What it seems like it was is they wrote out the initial plot and where it should go. Michael Bay then went on to write 60 pages of a script, as he called it, which, hint hint, may also lead to another issue.
That's a penis.
After the strike was done, they still spent 6 months revising the script before shooting, locked in a hotel room, as they said, by Bay himself. I don't think I'm ready to fully blame the strike for every bad aspect that was kept in the script.
Hey, Professor, I'd do anything for an A.
Or even double down on. There were still decisions made that still happened because the writers just wanted them to. It kinda seems like Bay was going, oh yeah, that last movie, it was bad. We all agree it was bad, but that was outside of our control. This new movie, though, is gonna be far better. And then he went on to make Dark of the Moon.
No, Optimus!
Oh, and Transformers 4 and 5. Same writers too.
I'm an inventor.
Let's look at these writers' filmography, shall we? Star Trek Into Darkness, Cowboys and Aliens, The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Now it's time for me to light my candles.
The Mummy. Alex Kurtzman himself then went on to famously write Star Trek Discovery and Picard, and he has another Star Trek treat on the way.
What?
Yeah, while Bay blames the strike for why the movie wasn't executed as well, let me say, I truly believe deep down that this movie wasn't going to be skyrocketing past that 7 out of 10 anyway. Michael Bay movies have always had a kind of, I don't know, for lack of better words, asshole nature about them. Like, nobody ever really gets along in a lot of Bay movies.
Oh, don't be like that. If I had a rock, I'll bust your head, bitch.
Which sometimes can really work, especially in regards to comedy. Yet that tone just doesn't work for Transformers.
Why don't you get a haircut with your bitch ass?
In each preceding Transformers sequel, only deteriorates into a bunch of annoying idiots bickering back and forth. Characters will fight for literally no reason at all, sometimes to just progress the plot. You can't take the elements of a cynical, mean-spirited world
How about I park my foot in your ass?
and then wrap them up with Optimus looking off into the sunset, saying some vaguely heroic monologue about how humanity is just so darn great. No, Optimus, I disagree. Humans, as Michael Bay writes them, really suck. This tone only gets worse with each preceding movie until eventually no characters get along, not even the Autobots. By 4 and 5 it seems like they despise each other.
Cut the crap before I drop a grenade down your throat.
He's like a child.
This child is about to kick your ass.
But we'll get to those travesties when we get to them. Alright, enough vague notions of writing and tone. What actually happens in this bad boy? In the last movie, we learned the vehicle Gundams came to Earth because their Jesus Cube fell to the planet thousands of years ago. In search of it, the leader of the Bamboozle Bots, Meta Knight, came to Earth and crash-landed in front of Shia LaBeouf's grandpa, zapping him with interstellar knowledge. Well, it turns out that that was all a lie. That's right, the Transformers, as it turns out, have been here for thousands of years. Ever since civilization began, they've been here, putting their own symbols on ancient ruins to influence humanity, making pyramids.
Buy crypto, suckers!
Why is the lore of Transformers so familiar? Could it be? No, it's not true. Oh no, world's melding. We've gone beyond the looking glass. Realities are merging. Make it stop, make it stop! So yeah, Transformers were ancient aliens the whole time. Meanwhile, in the present, Optimus and the Autobots have teamed up with the ATF because the Decepticons forgot to pay their taxes.
Pull over.
The encounter leads to so much collateral damage, it would make your average GTA player blush. Like, damn, imagine you're driving home from work, thinking about the day-to-day, when suddenly your existence is snuffed out by Big Wheel from Spider-Man. For caring so much about humanity, the death of these innocents really doesn't seem to weigh on you, Optimus.
Not today.
One thing that's funny is that China doesn't seem to mind Americans coming into Shanghai. These are all nest operatives, but when it's Hong Kong in trouble, I guess then it's perfectly fine for the Chinese to come on in. Man, I wish that was just a joke and not a key feature of Transformers 4. This wreck and ominous warning is further elaborated on once everyone gets back to Nest headquarters. This Fed chastises Optimus, saying that there's only one real reason why the Decepticons are still here, to hunt the Autobots. This is the first instance of human authority distrusting the giant robots who are very clearly the protagonists. It's a very common plot point in Michael Bay Transformers, which only gets worse off from here. This agent guy expositions so hard he gives away the location of the Allspark fragment that is under tight security.
Decepticons, we have located the shard.
Good job, bozo. Soundwave hears this and sends his wolf thing. Yeah, you probably wouldn't have known this was Soundwave because they look and sound nothing alike.
Decepticons, we have located the shard.
Alert! Alert! Assistance required.
At least they made him look good in Bumblebee. Anyway, Shia LaBeouf is going off to college.
It's your little baby booties.
Extreme Goofy movie style. After discovering he had some Jesus Cube Cheeto dust on his old shirt, he accidentally turns all of his appliances into real boys.
There are no stings on me.
Bumblebee saves everyone from certain death, and as a reward gets chastised for his transgressions. Fine, should've just let him die. After leaving his family home in ruins and failing to commit to a relationship like the real gamer he is, Sam heads off to college. His new roommate turns out to be a conspiratorial forum poster who spends way too much time on OnlyFans. And he sticks around the whole movie. Oh boy.
You landed on my testicles.
Sam sees symbols, starts to lose his mind. Turns out the cube gave him a computer virus. For those that don't know, a MacGuffin is a device or object that is the sole purpose of the plot. Something that every character wants. A crystal skull, Ark of the Covenant, an Allspark. Turns out what's blasted into his mind is the coordinates to the Matrix of Leadership. Everyone wants Sam because his brain has a map to the Matrix, and everything for 90% of the plot is related to these two in some way. Sam becomes a MacGuffin to find a MacGuffin thanks to another MacGuffin. We're in too deep. The Matrix can do a lot of things like bring Optimus back to life or turn on the pyramids. Is Optimus going to be brought back to life, or is the Fallen going to suck the sun dry? I wonder how it ends. Probably should have killed Optimus while he was still weak. Huh, Fallen? Oh well. Can't win them all. At the end of the day, everyone smiles into the sunset. The Earth is saved. The only one lost was the girl robot, so oh well. I mean, where do you even begin? There are a few things I actually kind of like about this movie, so I guess we start there.
Kitten counter.
Sometimes the jokes actually land.
We have to get you a tighter shirt. There isn't a tighter shirt. We checked.
And, yeah, you can never go wrong with John Turturro. He's a blessed shining light in the circle of hell.
One man! Alone!
Stop saying that.
Betrayed by the country he loves.
But what can really be said that isn't blatantly obvious, or hasn't been run into the ground already?
Pussy.
The movie's way too horny, and it's way too crass. It's a little bit of the racism word.
Oh, we don't really do much reading.
Other than showing humping 3 times, Revenge of the Fallen really doesn't excel in anything uniquely bad, considering how much worse these movies get. Be it Dark of the Moon's ultra-violence, 4 being straight-up Chinese propaganda, or the 5th being drunk in the gutter.
God, I'm sozzled.
Any of the other problems that begin in this movie only get worse.
Give me your face. I didn't see that.
But there are a few flaws I want to focus on, that I don't think anybody really has ever mentioned before. This movie kinda fucks up its own pacing within the first minute.
Earth. Birthplace of the human race.
In the opening monologue, Optimus describes how Transformers have been on Earth for far longer than anyone has known. While today nobody cares about the lore of these movies, for a 2009 first-time viewer, doesn't this seem like a significant change to the status quo? Like, all of that backstory of why the Transformers were on Earth in the first place, they've actually been here for all of human history. This seems like it could have been built up as an interesting twist, doesn't it? Optimus even says,
For in our quest to protect the humans, a deeper revelation dawns.
like he admits it's a revelation.
Revelation.
When does that revelation actually happen? I'm saying revelation too much. The rapture's going to start. Does Optimus even find out that the Fallen was here before? He kind of just comes back to life and then blows up a pyramid.
Our races united by a history long forgotten.
What are you talking about, Optimus? Didn't really seem like it was a revelation for you. One major reason I think Transformers 2 doesn't work, outside of, well, everything else,
Haircut with your bitch ass.
is half of its plot is structured around a mystery we, the audience, already know the answer to. This Decepticon ominously says the Fallen will rise again, and it takes every character out for a loop. What's the Fallen? That doesn't sound good. It's something nobody, even the Autobots, really understands. It's a little bit of a mystery for the characters. But you know who it's not a mystery for? The audience. Oh, the Fallen? I know that guy. He was stopping tribal people in the opening monologue. He snarled like an animal. But while that mystery is undermined, the Fallen sure doesn't help either. From his design to voice
Revenge is mine.
to demeanor, he's just so much less imposing than Megatron. This is supposed to be the original Decepticon, yet he's just so lame. Like, he's Megatron's aging grandpa.
Back in my day, we used to hunt for witches.
It's like Megatron got beaten up and now he's bringing his dad to the schoolyard. Not to even mention, what is he getting revenge for? I guess he's getting revenge against humanity, but humanity didn't even defeat him in the first place. The original Primes did, and they're dead. For being an even bigger bad than Megatron, he's just punched to death anyway. He doesn't even kill any Autobots, he just goes after the US military. I mean, there's a lot that could have changed. I mean, they probably should have used the first design for him. Make him look like the Decepticon logo since he's the original one in the first place. Instead, it just looks like he wants to blow up Mata Nui. What else is on the list? Oh yeah, these two. What can even be said here? They existed.
I got the green. That hurt, man. It's supposed to hurt. It's an ass kicking.
Paramount and the good people at Hasbro all came together and looked at everything that was going on here.
I'm ugly, but we twin, you stupid genius.
And just went, yep, send it. It's like a social experiment. How many people can collectively go along with a horrendous abomination without speaking up? The answer is however many producers were involved with Transformers 2. I mean, what can really be said about Revenge of the Fallen? It's Transformers 1 in tone and atmosphere, but just infinitely worse. I'm tired. I genuinely don't think this movie's good, but here's my horrendous confession. The next movie, Dark of the Moon, is actually kind of a guilty pleasure of mine. I think I actually kind of like it. I just got an email from YouTube. All my subscribers left.